Good morning and welcome to the Mike Show for Friday, May 1, 2026. 35 degrees at 7:51 a.m. and I'm your host, Hakamal. And I am a sinner. I'm powerless and my life is unmanageable. Humility and gratitude are the keys to life. It's always today, it's always now. My life is not my own. My will not be done. There's no reality but God, and the only thing we have to do is die. So, how are we going to live today? And I hope and pray I can live from my heart a life based on faith and not fear. There's that Ruthie. There's that Ruthie, and there's that Uncle Max. Papa Max. What do you think, Ruthie? The girls been outside, Max went outside, and they just finished eating their treat. We've been awake since the pre-dawn, when everyone started coming around and trying to get me out of bed and telling me it's time to go on the hunt. And I think it was just after 7 when I finally got up, and so far we've let them out, emptied noogie boxes, made coffee, got some gruel cooking, cold, thin, and watery, just the way we like it. And it's a good day for it, I'll tell you that much. There is snow in the forecast. May 1st. May 1st. Global warming. There was some blackbirds and city chickens out there feeding. Looks like there's a couple of city chickens now. Oh boy. Spring is happening out there. It's just not fit for human beings is the problem. We're still in sprinter, as I call it. April is its own month up here. Spring and winter, sprinter. And it's no fun. Yesterday's thumbnail was a shot of Rocky, an old stray who didn't want a home. He was a good boy. He was a good boy, and he'd come around here and have a bite to eat and get a drink and take a nap, and then he'd be back on his adventures. Mailman Jay told me he had places all over this neighborhood where he'd go do that, so he had a lot of homes, despite being homeless. Oh, after coffee and wake-up time yesterday, I hopped on my Kona and I pedaled, I think. It was between around 22 or 23 miles. I took the nature trail for the first time this year and ended up going to Marine Market and getting a dozen eggs and come home and spent the rest of the day here hanging out with the cats, doing domestic chores, all that fun stuff. Talked to Cousin Paul. He said they got a lot of snow yesterday and they still have a lot on the ground and it's still flooding over there where he lives. The lake levels are still really high. From the snow and the ice storms and the spring rain and flooding, it all melted and it's still melting. In fact, there were still little patches of snow, not much, but I was still seeing snow out on the nature trail yesterday. It was mostly under places where there were branches covering up snow and you could see underneath branches little snow piles here and there. It was nice riding. It wasn't windy at all. I mean, it was real light breezes. I think it was 6 miles an hour. Oh boy, and I forgot to pay a bill yesterday. We read to the cats. Fell asleep watching the movie The Wild Bunch. Else ate some glucosamine, which I was grateful for. She was getting Silencia for her arthritis last year, as was Max. And it did wonders, but there was quite the toll on that. The side effects were just nasty, patches of hair falling out. It wasn't so bad on Elsie, but it was bad on Max. Really bad. Ruthie's joined us again. Hey, Ruthie. Ruthie! So anyway, I was glad to see she ate some glucosamine last night. I'll try giving her some more this morning, and I don't know if she wants it. Where are your sisters, honey? Did you have a good adventure out there? Kind of cold. You didn't stay out too long today, thankfully. Didn't disappear on me like you did yesterday. So anyway, we're going to take a little break and have a cup of coffee. Welcome back, and I don't really mean that, and I didn't mean it when I said good morning either. Oh boy. Despite everything, because I know I was pretty ordinary when I woke up yesterday, and that happens. It's just the way it is. That's what the Mike Show is. Believe me, I'm not that angry all day long. Sometimes it's much worse. No. The wonder and charm of seeing me with seriously bad hair days and barely able to keep my eyes open and still 3/4 of asleep. That's part of the charm of this thing we do. Oh boy. Where you going, Max? Maxie's on the move. Breaking news. Breaking news. Oh yeah. So anyway, on tap today, I'm gonna make some salmon fritters. I got a canned salmon the other day, and as I'm a good lapsed Catholic, there's the school bus. I try not to eat meat on Friday. In fact, speaking of lapsed Catholic, yesterday, April 30th, I believe it was in 1967, I had my first communion. Wow. And I failed to mention on the 29th, it was my aunt's mother's oldest daughter's brother-in-law's oldest nephew's birthday. And I believe he turned 72. Might be 73. I don't know. I do not know. I know he's like 7 years older than I am. And I turned 65 in November. Anyway, grandfather's sun just poked through the clouds. So back to bicycling. I think that ride I was on yesterday put me at 315 miles for the year. 10% of my goal. And 260 of that has been within the last less than 3 weeks. I had just over 100 last week, just over 100 the week before, and I'm at 61 right now. So, I don't know if I'll get out and do anything today. I've got 3 days left to make 100 and 39 miles to go. I'd like to get it out of the way. I don't think I'll be doing any kettlebell working out today. Yesterday was actually a day I should have been doing that, but I hurt too much. Biking, that's one thing about biking. I mean, unless you're really beating yourself up on a mountain bike trail or something, it's pretty simple. It's just good aerobic exercise. Keep you moving, get fresh air in your lungs. Works for me. But as far as doing any, I don't even think I'm going to do any push-ups today. But I missed my kettlebells, but I realized something, and I saw an article yesterday that kind of fits in with my philosophy. Like, I'm training for older age. I don't want to end up in a nursing home. And, because of the unmanageability and unknowing of what's going to happen in your life. You don't know what's going to happen and if you're going to end up there, but there are things as far as exercising and diet and other activities you can get yourself involved in, keep your brain sharp and keep you the hell out of one of them places, and I'm doing all I can to do that. But as far as the workouts and things that you do once you get older, you're training for quality life and not, to get jacked and be buff looking, to have practical, functional, useful muscle, to be able to walk up and down stairs, carry things in, The one thing I have a lot of trouble with, and I know I'm not the only one, is opening plastic packages, trying to rip that strip off some of them things, like on a package of cheese that's resealable. Sometimes I just cannot tear that, and it's a struggle, and I got to use scissors. The one that really gets me though is when you tear it off at the line like it says, and the packaging is still stuck together. So then you got to take scissors and cut it down, and it's still stuck together. And by the time you cut it down to where you can open it up, there's nothing to grab onto to pull the Ziploc part apart. That's always fun. That's something I've been dealing with for years. Anyway, we're going to take another little break. And we are back again, and Ruthie's joined us, and she's got a purr going. Oh, Ruthie. Oh, Ruthie. So anyway, to the 8 billion of you who do not tune in on a regular basis, not that I'm complaining, I'm now using a flip phone, and it's wonderful. I'm backing off this technology, and I'm finding out more and more I'm not alone in this matter. I bought this thing at Walmart, the Evil Empire, and it has capabilities of texting, but like to type 2 sentences, it takes me about 20 minutes. So that's done. I'm done doing texting. I haven't tried to do any email or anything like that on it. I just use it for calling. And even like if someone it calls to and I don't know that they're calling, or I can't get to the phone. If they leave a voicemail, there isn't even any way for me to access that. I talked to the people I bought it from, and they said, yeah, it's on there, but it's not part of the way this thing works. So I'm like, well, that's not a bad thing either. So if somebody wants to talk to me, if I know the number, I can call them back. But if I don't know the number, I don't have to deal with their bullshit voicemails. And another thing I read, and again, I'm not the only person that's going back. In fact, I might even go back to using just a plain old track phone if I get fed up with this thing. But the artificial intelligence, like when you're doing a chat with a live chat on the computer, or if you call someplace and you get stuck in the AI loop, is another thing people are fed up with, and companies, they better start taking notice of this, because people are getting fed up with having to deal with it. And I go to it right away. As soon as I get an AI voice on there, I start saying, I want to talk to a human. I want to talk to a human. I want to talk to a human. And then sometimes it reaches a point where I'll just say, fuck you, I want to talk to a fucking human. Give me a fucking human. And that at that stage, usually it does connect you to a human. But it's sad that you got to get to that point, because otherwise you end up in a circle jerk loop. The thing's asking you questions, and it's not giving you the right answers. And there was an interesting little video yesterday where this guy was involved with that kind of conversation, and the thing flat out lied to him. So this AI, it's just not all cracked what it's cracked up to be, and I don't want no part of it. So anyway, I think that's about all we got. Hey, Ruthie. Hey, Ruthie. And I did decide, now that I'm starting to wake up a little bit, I'm probably going to go for some kind of bike ride today. Maybe haul some stuff to the DPW. And I might go do some plinking this afternoon. I don't know. It's going to depend on the weather. But yeah, maybe get out and knock off a few miles on the bike. I don't know. Once I get my gruel in me, I'll feel a little better. And I'm going to whip up some canned salmon into some fritters to pan fry. They're really good. So anyway, that's about all we got. From the cold gray ashes and coals of my cold black heart, my broken, beaten, battered, bruised, bloody, burdened, empty, hollow, cracked, shattered, hopeless, forsaken, forlorn, bitter, angry, tired, resentful, twisted, convoluted, confused, grieving, happy, and grateful soul. Piss off. Happy Friday, and thank you for not tuning in.